Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the 7 hidden traps to watch out for as a new loan officer. These are things that almost every single loan officer is going to run into when they're brand new, and most people make these mistakes. I know I did. I didn't know anything about them. No one really told me about them, so make sure you watch the end of this video so when you join the business, you don't make these same mistakes because they can cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. I know they did for me. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, number one is not knowing the different types of loan officers. So there's essentially 3 different types of loan officers. The first one is the retail loan officer. So that's going to be the loan officer that works at a Chase, Wells Fargo, US Bank, etc. The second is going to be the direct lender. The direct lender is a loan officer that works at a bank that only does mortgages, right? Because Wells Fargo, Chase, they do other things. They do, lines of credit, they do checking accounts, saving accounts, etc. But a direct lender works at a bank that only does mortgages. Then there's a third option, which is the mortgage broker. The mortgage broker is essentially someone that works with multiple banks. For example, I'm a mortgage broker, and at my company, we have over 160 different banks that we can work with. So it's a great option for those of you that want to have the access not only to multiple banks, but also to multiple programs so you can offer better interest rates and help more people, right? If you have more programs, you can help more people. If you only have one program to offer, you're going to be limited in the clients and the families that you can help. So those are the different types of loan officers. You have your retail, your direct lender, and your mortgage broker. Now, the difference in pay, aside from the difference in programs, the difference in pay is that the retail loan officer, you're gonna get a small salary, and on top of that, you're gonna get a small amount of commission per deal. Very, very small. Now, a direct lender, you're gonna get a slightly higher commission as opposed to the retail loan officer. Slightly higher, I would say it's anywhere between 1% to 1.5% of the loan amount. And then as a mortgage broker, you're gonna get paid anywhere from 1 to even 2.5% of the loan amount. So you can see the income potential is a lot different. And on top of that, like I mentioned earlier, the programs are different. As a retail loan officer, you're only gonna have the programs that Chase, Wells Fargo offers. So you're going to be limited, very, very limited. And on top of that, they have stricter guidelines for those programs, FHA, conventional, etc. Now, what's nicer about the direct lender is that they're more lenient, they're more flexible with their guidelines, with their loan requirements compared to the retail loan officer or the retail bank. Then we have the mortgage broker, which is the ideal situation if you want to help a lot of families and close a lot of deals. So it's very, very unlikely, unless the client completely does not qualify, for me to turn down a client. Whereas when I started off as a direct lender, and I wasn't able to qualify a lot of clients, and I was also losing them because the mortgage brokers had lower interest rates than me because they could shop with different banks. In one case, in 1 month, I lost $40,000 in 1 month because I was at a direct lender that didn't have the programs that a mortgage broker did. And that's when I made the switch to a mortgage broker. And if you guys are looking for a company to work for, reach out to me. The information is down in the description, and I'll connect you with the company that I work for or some other companies in the area, in your state, that I would recommend. But it's very, very important that you choose the right company because $40,000 in 1 month is not money that you want to be losing out on. That's money that I lost out on, plus other deals. I would say maybe $60,000 that I lost in 1 year because I was a direct lender and not a mortgage broker. All right, number 2 is picking the wrong company. Now, we already went over the different types of loan officers, so that could already be in itself picking the wrong company, right? At least for me, the direct lender that I was at was great, no complaints, but had I started as a mortgage broker at a mortgage broker company, I wouldn't have missed out on those $80,000, $60,000 in deals that I lost as a direct lender. So that in itself is a mistake in my opinion, right? But some other mistakes that you can make is just looking for the commission. So going to a place and be like, hey, what's your commission? Okay, thank you. Next place, hey, what's your commission? Okay, thank you. Next place, etc. So don't make that mistake. What opportunity exists at that company? Is it a company that's growing, that's excelling, that's improving technologically in terms of staff, in terms of, morals, ethics, production, creativity, marketing, or are they going backwards, or are they just comfortable? right? Because eventually what's going to happen is whatever direction they're going in, whatever pace they're going in, that's the pace that you're going to be going at, right? Because that's the company you're going to be at, right? It's not so much that you're a product of your environment, but you are influenced by your environment. That's another thing to watch out for is, hey, what's the opportunity like at this company, at this organization? Are they forward moving? Are they stagnant? Or are they going the opposite way? Because you're going to run to the three. So that's another thing to keep in mind. The third thing that I would recommend to consider is what's the culture like? The culture is very, very, very important, because when we're talking about culture, we're talking about the people, right? The energy in the environment. That's different than where the company's going. You also create your own culture. Now, another thing about being a loan officer is you can work from home, you can work remotely, so this may not be a factor for you, but if it is definitely something to look at. The fourth thing to look out for in choosing a company is the training. Do they offer training? Now, a mistake you can make here is don't rely on people. And what I mean by that is, I know a lot of companies, especially real estate companies, they'll be like, hey, come join us. I'm going to coach you one-on-one. You join the company, that person disappears. Don't depend on a person that's telling you they're going to hold your hand, because they're not going to. They're going to get busy. They're going to go on vacation. For example, the company that I'm at, they have trainings every single week. I'm not dependent on a single person because there's trainings every single week. It's part of the business. It's part of the policy. All right, number 3 is to watch out for the opinions and the advice that you get as a new loan officer from your colleagues and other people in the industry. What do I mean by this? Well, what's going to happen when you're brand new is everyone's going to want to give you their 2 cents. Oh, hey, don't do that. Oh, hey, that doesn't work. Oh, hey, this works. I'm not saying these are things that you don't want to consider. Definitely think about them. Definitely look at them, but look at them, right? Don't just accept them as fact. I can't tell you how many real estate agents, how many loan officers were doing something, whether it was door knocking, cold calling. Someone came along and said that doesn't work. It could be from a person that's been in the business for 20, 30 years. That doesn't mean it's a fact. Can't tell you how many, tips, advice, tips and tricks I've been given from people that have been in the business for 30, 40 years, and it's an opinion. It's not true. It's unworkable. So just keep an eye out for those things as well. All right, number 4 is not over-promising and or not triple checking everything you do. As a loan officer in this business, you're dealing with something that's very, very, very important. We're not selling chocolates, we're not selling coffees, we're not selling t-shirts, but we're selling mortgages. And on top of that, in most cases, it's being backed up by an earnest money deposit. It's being backed up by your client's deposit. The point being is you can't mess up on this stuff. You can't tell the client you're approved and then a week later find out that they're not approved. And then they lose their deposit, or they're homeless or whatever. But you cannot make mistakes. You're gonna make mistakes, but you can't make big mistakes. You can't make mistakes that kill the deal. You can't make mistakes that cause the client to no longer qualify without any option. So this is why you don't want to overpromise. I never overpromise. This doesn't mean that you can't overpromise. You can overpromise on service, no problem. But until you really understand your craft, maybe you've got a few deals under your belt, don't overpromise or don't set higher expectations without having the data. If you have the data, overpromise. If you don't have the data, go get the data and then overpromise, right? So one thing that has helped me a lot in my business, set me apart from people that have been in the business for 20 and 30 years, is I always triple, quadruple check everything. This way, when I tell the client I can get it done, I can get it done, and I do get it done. Instead of telling the client I can get it done and then not getting it done. Because what that does is you lose credibility and you're no longer a professional, because a professional says they're gonna do something and they do it. They perform, they get things done. You're gonna be tempted to go out there and promise the world, because in other businesses you can do that, right? When you're selling chocolates, you can do that. When you're selling cars, you can do that. But in mortgages, you can't mess around. You're dealing with people's credits, income. These are things that you can't just, manipulate. All right, number 5, and this kind of ties in with the last point, is your reputation. As a real estate agent, you're gonna have a reputation, but it's different than a loan officer. The deal is mostly, heavily dependent on the loan. Everyone's scared about the loan because that's where most of the problems happen. Think about it. If you're a real estate agent, are you gonna wanna work with a loan officer that has a bad reputation? Probably not. If you build up a bad reputation, people are gonna have that in mind. Hey, this guy just does a terrible job. I'm not gonna work with him. Don't work with him. He's gonna share that with his realtor friends, with her realtor friends, and you're not gonna get any business. So make sure you protect your reputation. That ties in with the last point that we just went over, right? Don't overpromise. Don't be the loan officer that works magic. Eventually you will work magic, but let the magic work itself. Don't set the expectation that you're a magician. A lot of loan officers do that. Hey, I can do any deal. I can make magic happen. I don't say that, at least not yet. Eventually, when I have that ability, I'll say those things because I'll be that. But right now in the beginning, you want to be careful because you don't want to mess up your reputation. Your reputation is a big, big deal in this business. It's a small business. You're going to realize that soon too, is that it's a small business. Everyone knows each other, and you don't want to be known as a loan officer that can't get a deal done, that kills deals, that leaves a sour taste in people's mouths. So make sure you protect your reputation. This is very, very, very important. All right, number 6 is that it's 60% business and 40% being a loan officer. You're a loan officer, but you're also a business owner. And it's mostly being a business owner. That's why you're getting paid more. Because anyone can go be a loan officer, at least for the most part, at Wells Fargo, at Chase Bank, at US Bank. That's why they get paid less. It's not just about being a great loan officer. It's also about being a great business person. What does that include? Well, working your finances, working your marketing, working your accounting, working your promotions, your quality control, also learning from your mistakes, right? All these things go under a business owner, go under managing, creating, establishing a successful business, a successful organization. So this is another key part, is understand that you're building a business. If you're thinking that you're just being a loan officer and that you just do loans, it's going to be very difficult to succeed because there's other parts, right? There's follow-up, there's prospecting, there's quality control, etc. So just keep this in mind when you're entering the business. All right, number 7 is that it's not easy. It's actually very, 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 very difficult, especially right now. It was easy when the rates dropped. It was easy during the refi boom. That's when it was easy, and that's when most loan officers came into the business, but that's no longer here. It's very, very difficult, even for top producers. I've spoken to a lot of loan officers, a lot of top producers that have been in the business for the past 30 years. And a lot of them have said that it's harder now than it was in 2008 when the market crashed, than 2009 when the market crashed. It's harder now than then when the world was ending then. I'm going on to my 3rd year, and just now I'm barely getting comfortable. I'm barely feeling like, okay, I'm getting the hang of things after a 3rd year. So for you guys, don't underestimate this industry. Don't underestimate this business. It doesn't mean you can't be successful. You can definitely be that. As long as you have the proper training, resources, help, you can be successful. And make sure you check out my website. I do have a bunch of resources, materials that can help you grow your businesses. Those materials alone will save you 3-5 years in your business, maybe even 10 years. I can't tell you how many loan officers that have been in the business for 20 years that don't have any of those materials, that don't have any of those understandings. So make sure if you're brand new and you want to succeed and you don't want it to be hard, you get those materials ASAP. I would even get them before you get your license. If you're really serious about this and you're really serious about your success, right? This is a business. A business owner invests in himself, in his business. You're not going to grow your business if you don't invest yourself, if you don't invest in the business. I've spent north of $50,000 on my self-improvement, on my growth, on my business. And that's why you're like, hey, why is Enrique why is he so great at speaking? Why is he so great at teaching? Why is he so great at this? Why is he so great at that? It's because I invest in myself, I invest in my business. So if you want to be great, you have to do the same. The more you invest yourself, the more you validate yourself and your potential and your goals. So again, check out the website, check out those materials. They're going to save you time, they're going to save you money, and they're going to make you money. So make sure you check them out. And that's pretty much it for today's video. Hopefully that's been helpful. If you enjoyed this content, comment down below what you guys thought, leave a big thumbs up, and subscribe for more content just like this. I'll see you in the next one, and be great.